I think we're ready to go. Luna decided to start the hunt. Well, not literally start the hunt, but I suppose before the hunt began, Luna decided to punch Nabi in the face, which could actually serve as a form of warm-up for both parties. But anyway, welcome everyone. It is Doomlink's Live Hunts. I would like to first and foremost direct your attention to this. Not that I need to direct your attention to it, but I've taken the windscreen off my microphone, and we're going to see how things go. I was sick of it covering my face all the time. There will be less of that now. Well, at the very least, it's going to cover me, but in a much less obstructive way. I guess it's better to say cover my hair. That's really what it's doing at the moment. Anyway, as well as that, I would like to extend my apologies for my very low streaming output over the last, well, actually it's been for quite some time that I would say my stream output has been unacceptably low, but it's been pretty bad recently, so I apologize for that. I will try to ameliorate the situation by actually recording. That might help. I hear that that's a good strategy when you're not recording very frequently, generally. An increase in recording frequency can serve as a remedy. So, we're going to try that going forward. Obviously, it's not quite as simple as that. But, yeah, it's all about priorities. And I just need to set recording and streaming a little higher on my list of priorities. Closer to the top of my weekly agenda. Currently using the, well, some of the strongest dual blades in the game. Some would argue that they are the strongest, but perhaps those people are ill-informed, because I believe them to be among the best, but perhaps there are others that are even better. I don't know. My point is that you probably shouldn't take my advice when it comes to these things, because I'm slightly less invested than other people are in what is strongest. As most of you will be aware, I use what is effective but fun, not what is literally the strongest, so I am not an authority on what is literally the best choice of weapon. Use only bomb to kill monster when. Very fun. Can be fun, but not for your teammates, I find. Unless there is some sort of strategy that everyone is on board with as a single operating unit, where everyone puts down their bombs at roughly the same time and everyone clears the way so that they don't get bombed and, in some cases, killed. That might work. But, oh god. Nabi has broken off from the group. That's a rather late effect after having been punched in the face. There was a bit of lag time on that one. Obviously means that Nabi had poor connection to me, I suppose, because I was the room host there. That was a very abrupt entrance for Mr. Kongalala. Thank you for that. So yeah, these dual blades will work pretty well against all of these monsters. To be honest, I don't know what the poison resistances of these monsters are, but even then, these dual blades are quite high in raw damage anyway, so that alone should make them effective. I was playing entirely subconsciously during the last hunt, so I do hope that I was going into demonized mode. When I play subconsciously in second generation Monster Hunter, I can at times fail to use demonized mode. I suppose it's because there's no charge gauge, and so I'm not reminded subconsciously when I look at the game screen to, I don't know, get that bar higher or whatever. There's no bar, that's the point, so sometimes it can cause confusion in the mind of autopilot Doomlink, who is, incidentally, generally better at playing than conscious, actually trying to play well Doomlink. Maybe we won't say trying to play well, we'll say trying to competently hunt the monster. Oh yes, I didn't check the volume of the game. Oh, the game's a bit too loud. I'm going to lower the volume of that. Maybe for some of you that's appropriate. For me, that's a little too loud. Just a little bit. So I'm going to lower it down. But not before we kill this Kongolala. I'm going to lower that. Well, perhaps that is what I've had in the past. That's probably what I've had in the past, so I don't know what the problem is. Okay. Because I don't think I've actually changed the volume of the game since I was last recording it, so... If I was dissatisfied with the amplitude of the game sound on this occasion, that would therefore mean that it was unacceptable last time as well. Alright, so our next monster will be Nagakuga. I believe that he spawns this way. Even with 3 people, we are blitzing through these monsters. Of course, they do have reduced health. By virtue of the fact that it is a triple monster quest. Well, that's very nice of you. Kicked me in the tail. Well, perhaps not the tail. It was in the general vicinity of my tail, but I don't think my tail was harmed, nor do I think it was the target. Well, Luna just excellently demonstrated how to suicide bomb in Monster Hunter. I can't even fucking dive properly. It was very nice of Luna to actually forego DPS so that I could get off my hands and knees. I don't know how helpful that was overall. I don't know how much the team benefited from that activity, but I suppose it was courteous to say the least. Oh. I'm just trying to be in line with the head, I suppose. At any rate, I will lazily demon dance away. I do need to, you know, update Arx on the situation. If I make it a habit of asking if he wants to play, and then literally not playing with him, he's going to stop playing with me. So, I should actually... like, out of spite, that is to say. So I should make a little bit of effort to at least communicate. The reality is that he is usually online when I'm playing, and that's because he is usually online, just in general. So, he's usually an option as well. Alright. That was a rather pathetic performance on my part, but I was admittedly distracted by my device that I'm using to read the chat. I did have my livestream playback going in my peripheral vision, and it was actually distracting me, and I distracted myself momentarily even further by switching it off. Or pressing pause, to be exact. And we've got a trap down. But that was also an opportunity to hit the monster, so I went and took it. Don't be shy now. Come now. You're dancing on this thing. Go. Thank you. I timed my demonized mode with Luna's swing. So that way I wouldn't have to end up on my hands and knees during the opportunity to hit the monster. That would be very upsetting. That was an excellent performance on the horn. What? I don't know what you mean by do you play rice? What is rice? I mean, I know what the food is, but I can't imagine that the food is something that you play. Mina says, bruh, very articulately in the chat. The time that you just took to type the letters BRUH could have instead been spent, rather more usefully, explaining what the fuck rice is. Oh, he meant rise, I see. Yeah, see, it's my fault, right? When he types rice, it's my fault. Fuck me sideways. No, I do not play rice. I would never play rice if I could avoid it. And I can, which is why I never do. Fuck that game. It's an embarrassment. It makes me partially sick to even think about it. And you have now forced that displeasure upon me by mentioning it. So I thank you for that. Sarcastically, of course. Still mad at World? Not really, actually. I'm not going to go so far as to say that I have a soft spot for World. I have a soft spot for the experience that I had with it when it first came out. I have fond memories of playing through that for the first time. Just embarking on a new adventure with a Monster Hunter game that I was actually very open to enjoying and learning how to play. But that all changed in a big way. In a really big way. Over time. Perspective matters. Perspective will obviously shape how you view things as time passes, and after playing Rise, that really put World into perspective. I had so little respect for Capcom for what they did with World, but once they just, you know, unashamedly debased themselves with Monster Hunter Rise, that's when I was like, oh, okay. This is what a bad Monster Hunter game looks like. This is what a soulless and entirely just worthless shell of a Monster Hunter game is. World is actually quite, you know, it comes across as well-meaning, whereas you play Rise and it actually feels like, as a Monster Hunter player, you are held in contempt by Capcom. Anyway, that's all I have to say. What am I doing? Random Hunt. Is that guy joining back? I don't think he is. So I'm going to ask if Arx wants to play. If he has ended up doing something else, I would not fault him for it. I'm going to say he got sniped. Makes it slightly more palatable. No, Aldison, it is not hunting with purpose, it is live hunts. Haunting with purposes, yes. Hunting with purposes. What's the quest? It is, oh, for fuck's sake. Descendants of the King is what you give me when I roll for a random hunt. Something that, quite frankly, I would be at great pains to avoid when hunting with random people, because that's what everyone always wants to do. And yet that's what I get when I roll a random hunt. Whatever, let's do it. I suppose I'm mostly hesitant to do Descendants of the King. Oh, he says, I don't know if I should look into this further. I'm hunting with a friend. You know. No, I understand what he means. Aldison is actually requesting permission to watch the live stream, which I've actually never had that before. This is the first time anyone's actually said, "Can I please watch your stream?" That's new. Well, admittedly, that's not what he said. This is what he said. Can me please watch ya stream? So, I don't want to be accused of misquoting anyone. Let's prepare for Descendants of the King. Himari is... well... there's no easy explanation for what's going on over there. Well, I suppose there is, but... oh, hi, Florin. Hey, are you coming back to Hunsterverse? I hope you understand why I didn't unban you. It's because it's not my place to unban you. I forwarded the matter to... I can't speak. I forwarded the matter to Zach because he was the one who banned you. And when the server owner bans you, it's like, well... I would be remiss to override his authority. Or attempt to do so. Now... what would actually make this quest fun? That's the ultimate question. Something general use, I suppose. Let me tell you, Florin, there are not many people playing 4 Ultimate in the Hunsterverse community. But admittedly, it is pretty sparsely populated elsewhere on Discord. Well, what I should say is that there is a sparse population of people actually playing that fucking game elsewhere on Discord, so I suppose it would still make a difference to get 1 or 2 more people to play with from Hunsterverse, admittedly. Okay. A weapon that would make this fun. I suppose, yeah, Royal Rose, why not? I hope no one else is using poison, because then that would rather trivialize my choice. Or devalue it, anyway. Hey, Baines, good to see you. See, I didn't realize that you were back. I haven't seen you. Maybe I just haven't been in the chat very often. Alrighty. Now the question is, do we have 4 people? That is the question. If it appears that we do not, I will reach out and see if anyone wants to play. Also, Baines, if you want to come and play, you are more than welcome. Willing to wait, in fact, but it's over to you. I do recall you saying that you're not as enamored with old Monster Hunter as you used to be, but I'm sure, you know, hunting with known people might make a difference. Engaging with the random community of Hunsterverse might not be quite as fun. So far we've got 2 gunners, which is very good obviously for DPS, and also myself with poison, so that's pretty good. I will obviously bring flash bombs, that's quite important. And I will start reaching out for a 4th hunter, because at this stage I haven't received a response from Baines, so... SQ, why did I SQ? For God's sake. Himari is already looking for another person, so good on him for doing that. When next mission, dude? Quite frankly, you could shorten that wait time by joining the damn room and playing with us, Aldison. Okay. Oh, actually, Tech had expressed interest prior, so I will ask him. That's the best way to invite someone. Tell them to join your room or shut up. What hunt? And I do mean unfortunately, I have no desire to do this fucking hunt. But I've been disallowed from re-rolling since the day the Fire Nation attacked. And that's what it was like. Remove the command. Oh, you mean CD for cooldown rather than command, okay. I thought you were like, just remove the whole thing. Get rid of the functionality. That would be upsetting. That was a good thing to add. You could have also meant compact disc when you said CD. Imagine having a CD version of the random hunts command. You have to actually, like, put a disc in and run software to get the roll happen. That's a scary thought. Ew. Says Doomlink. Tech is on his way, so I'm not going to depart without him. Himari is asking, like, trying to confirm if Tech is coming or not. I'm personally assured of the fact that he is because he asked what the hunt was. So, oh, he says, oh shit, can't hunt, I gotta go. Ah, fuck. Well, I don't really want to do this 3-man, but I suppose we can. Let me express my deep sadness, and then we'll probably depart. Alright. Let's go. I am equipped with flash bombs, I have poison damage, and actually in terms of damage, I've got 2 big damage dealers, particularly Mr... what's it called again? Heavy Lao Shao Can or some shit like that. Yes, and I do mean Lao Shao Can. Got a flash bomb, which is good. Saves me from doing it. I've got fucking earplugs, for goodness sake. Sometimes bad habits die hard. Quite reasonably, because the Sword and Shield has a shield, as indicated by the name, Sword and Shield. In later games I actually don't bother with any sort of hearing skills, because I just use the shield with my weapon type. But I wasn't really in the mood today. In fact, even in this game I tend to do that. I have a separate armor set that doesn't have any raw resistance at all, which I use in conjunction with Sword and Shield. So it is in fact in this game that I have allowed that habit to be nurtured. Yeah, well, I saw that coming. I will render my assistance. Alright. And now I will heal myself further and rejoin the confrontation. I really did think I was out of range of that head. Actually shocked that I wasn't. I can't believe we're doing Descendants of the King again. This is so monotonous. Because I think we did it about 5 times in the last recording, at least. Maybe I left after the 5th one was posted on the board. Here I'm doing it again. This is the last time I bring fucking high-grade earplugs to a hunt with a Sword and Shield. It's not happening again. I refuse. It's alright, this will be a quick quest. It'll be over and done with in no time at all. that is an appropriate time for me to bring out my shield. First time I've actually used it constructively during this hunt. I feel like I've been playing really weirdly. Is that because I haven't been playing Monster Hunter in my own time? I feel quite rigid and awkward in my play. Not sure what it is. I suppose we could continue flash bombing. The reason why I'm not bothering is because they have high DPS anyway. I'll do a turnaround flash bomb. Stop walking around with your fucking weapon out like that. See? I can just take the raw. Don't freak out. My body started to cringe as I realized that the raw was coming and I couldn't shield it, and then I realized, oh well, hold on. That's not an issue, because I chose to use raw resistance with my sword and shield today. Is it dead yet? The answer is yes. Victory. Who's that saying hi Zor in the chat? Ew. I was genuinely, like, curious. I was wondering who the fuck said hi Zor in the chat. I could see it just below my game window. And then I realized it was fucking Decker. That's like sitting on Father Christmas's lap and yanking on his beard, and it's, I don't know, fucking Ivan Milat. I don't know. That was the best thing I could come up with. It would be akin to that scenario. Or rather, it is akin to that scenario. Hello, Yamatori. I've just been accused of hacking in the chat for our rather successful hunt, yes. And this is also hacks as well. I hacked my game to get these two rewards. It is not that there are hacks that are quite so convenient that I can just say, at the end of this quest I would like to have a Rathalos Heavenly Scale. It's not that. It's that I'm just really good at hacking. That's what it is. I'm not using some pre-programmed software. Like I'm from the action movies where you've got a big keyboard and there's a lot of typing going on and there's binary code on the screen. Oh my god. You know, shit like that. That's what I do. I only phrase it in simple terms for the benefit of your understanding. Anyway. What is our next hunt? Random hunt. Come on. Ha! Himari mentioned that I have hacks for Tigrex Heavenlies, which relates to the fact that I have really good luck. And that's what we just rolled. Really good luck indeed. See, that's my hacks at work. I hacked to get Tigrex in the... in here. Now. Well, you see, I'm not going to use dual blades. Dual blades in Tigrex is fairly fun, I guess, but I'm not in the mood to use it again. Alright. I might go to my farm, just for something a little different. Just for a brief change of scenery. I can admire the sleeping Popo. And also the rainbow. Remember, we must all kneel to the rainbow. That's actually a ritual that must be observed every day. Kneel to it. Lower your head. In fact, no, do it how the Muslims do it. That's how you want to do it. Which, as a statement, is quite outrageous. Anyway, if you really think about it. All right. So something that would make Tigrex fun. I don't want to use Greatsword because, but I suppose I will. Let's use Greatsword. No, I'm not going to be magnetized to the head. I'm not going to do any, you know, Greatsword charges while Tigrex is running at me. There's not going to be any of that. What are they doing now? They're fighting again. Oh, we're all going Greatsword. I'm the only one using an interesting Greatsword, though. I just thought I'd mention that. Is there a double Tigrex option? And that's not what was rolled, but you see you do have a bit of leeway to do literally whatever the fuck you want, because that rolling system does not actually dictate to you what you're going to do when you open the game and start choosing a quest, so I can do double Tigrex if there is such a thing. If there isn't, and I am slightly embarrassed that I don't remember one way or the other. There it is. We're doing double Tigrex. It's more fun. So we've got a whole lot of damage and also paralysis, which is exciting, to be honest. It's good to have paralysis when you've got a Greatsword team. The weapon that obviously is at its best when the monster is stationary. So there you are. Let's go. I hope you're all doing well this evening. I can scarcely imagine, or rather believe, that it's been 40 minutes since I went live. I've been having an absolute ball, as they say. Ball. I don't know why I felt that it was necessary to say that more than once. Okay. I don't really know which Tigrex I should engage first, but quite frankly, I couldn't even finish the sentence before I realized which one I was going to engage first, and it was the one that is currently in the same area as two of my hunters, my fellow hunters. They're not my hunters. They are not my chattel. Yes, this is Rajan Greatsword. It's a rare thing to see because people think that there's only one Greatsword in the game, presumably. I don't really know what I was doing there. If it was an attempt to hit the monster, it was quite pathetic and singularly embarrassing. I'm sure the lag compensation dealt the damage. I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind. It's just wishful thinking in actual fact. And this is when you have to be a little bit tighter with your timing, because the Tigrex is moving at quite a pace. As you can see. See, it's always tempting to do the head turn around, but I'm not interested. Particularly not with online connectivity. Why, by the way... I'm not going to get into it. I don't like it when people choose to split up. Like, why solo the other one? It might be fun for you, but it's making this confrontation take longer, which I don't appreciate. Whatever. I hope that was on target. See, I'm not the type to really greed for critical unsheathing. The reason why I actually sheathed and went for it again was so that I could reposition. I wasn't really in a good spot. Fucking hell. It's lovely when the tail pushes you off target, isn't it? By the looks of it, that was pretty good timing on the part of Ishar. Ugh. I don't know if we've had a paralysis yet. I don't believe that we have. I think it's slightly unfortunate that we've got only 2 people able to take advantage of whatever paralysis goes out. But that's fine. I actually haven't been paying attention, but I wonder if... No, actually, I haven't been doing that. I've been wondering if I was adopting the habit of holding R while going into a charge, as developed from Try. Because that's actually required in Monster Hunter Try. You have to hold down the R button, it's just absurd. It makes no sense to me why they would have introduced that. It overcomplicates the matter. See, still take a hit. That's the thing with Tigrex and Greatsword, like, you pretty much, if you want high DPS, you have to get head turnarounds, and just pray for a flinch. Himari decided to wait a really long time to place down that trap. That's assuming he may have been the one to place the first one, but yeah, it's usually pretty bad practice to place one that far in to a confrontation in a single area. But yeah, it's just hard to really get a reasonable opportunity to deal damage. The only way really is to start charging ahead of time and then wait for that turnaround. I suppose I'm just looking for alternatives, but that really seems to be the best strategy in general. Alright, are we all going to hunt as a single unit? One force? Well, I don't know what I was going for there. Waiting too long, obviously. Well, I've demonstrated quite minimal skill with the Greatsword against this monster, although it has been a long time. Can I just say that when you've got long hair, the most annoying thing is when one of your hairs falls off and then starts to tickle your arm. It's really annoying. As you can see, the efficiency of Tifa is clear. There's a lot... You see, if you use that strategy where you do the turnaround charge on the head, it's much easier to control that situation when you're just one-on-one. Because every time the monster turns, it's going to be right on your position. So... that means it's very consistent, easy to control, and that literally results in more damage. So that was terribly engaging, but I'm sort of glad that that's over. I didn't actually enjoy that all that much. What, did I? Yeah, I told you. I've said it time and time again, not all of you will have heard it, but my luck with Tigrex is insane. Every single time I hunt this monster, I get his rare item. And it's on camera, I can prove it. Pretty much every time I hunt him, I get his rare. Let's see if I get one in the rewards too. You never know. With me, it's certainly possible. I'm not sure what it is about me and my relationship with this monster, but he loves to give me all of his shit. And it's not specifically Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, it is every game that I hunt him in. He just gives me so many. It's crazy. Although I'm not sure about Portable Third. The other games that really stick out to me are 4 Ultimate and Generations Ultimate, besides this one. But yeah, I'll have to check to see. Oh, well, there you go. And a gold crown. Tigrex is saying, it's been so long since you fought me, Doomlink. Here, just have everything. Have everything. Fucking hell. Yeah, I am hacking, actually. I'm so desperate to hold on to that narrative that I have good luck with Tigrex that I'm actually cheating as we speak, so... But don't tell anyone. How much honey do I have? That is the question on everybody's lips. And by everybody, I mean mine. I'm glad I've been fairly well disciplined in my gathering of honey. Some people end up amassing a whole lot more honey than theirs. But you see, I don't visit the fucking farm after every single hunt. If you do, then that's not a bad thing. That means that you've got plenty of honey, but I don't do that. So, I'd say, considering the fact that I don't do that, I've got a decent amount of honey. But I cannot grow complacent. I must ensure that I visit the farm to replenish my stock of honey. Alright. I apologize for the ear rape, by the way. I realize that's not exactly the most tuneful sound. But, it is required. I mean, I suppose I could have muted the game. That is always within my gift, but... Antifa is now reporting me for cheating, which is... You know what? Good for you. That's what I call having good community spirit. Good community spirit. Okay, next time. I actually typed ransom hunt, which is actually an interesting thought. Shen Gauden. Wow. I don't think I've ever rolled Shen Gauden. Maybe I have, but yeah, I'm open to doing that. I returned to a previous version of this save and lost my Gauden Greatsword in the process, so I do need to actually kill Shen Gauden in order to remake that greatsword, because you see, I don't actually use the King Atalard sword. I'm so bored by it. I'm bored to tears of seeing it in every fucking hunt that I do, sitting on someone's back. So the last thing I want is to look at it on my own character's back. So what I do is I actually use the Shen Gauden greatsword, which is slightly worse, just slightly worse than the King Atalard sword, but I would say that it's negligible. The difference is negligible in terms of damage, as far as I'm concerned. Others would probably disagree. But, you know, you weigh the positives against the negatives, and, yeah. It looks cooler, it's not overused, and it's not the King Atalard sword, so... Okay, now, what should I use? I don't really want to go Blade Master. I could use a hunting horn, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Let's go hunting horn. What an excellent idea. Is Shen Gauden weak to dragon? I think so. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Or would it? He is a crab. Oh, how embarrassing. I have to check to see what his elemental weaknesses are. I can't believe I'm having to do this. I've forgotten. Alright. Weakness, Shen Gauden. He is primarily weak to dragon. His secondary is fire, followed by a tertiary of thunder, with minimal effectiveness when it comes to ice and water. Which is strangely what I expected. Because my first instinct was that it was a dragon weakness, and then I thought, oh, if it's not dragon, it must be fire. So I was actually right with both. Why? Great. I've equipped a hunting horn on my greatsword set, which is an excellent idea. I would encourage everyone to do that. Hidden technique. Did you know that actually Art of Unsheathing is really good with the hunting horn? It's excellent, in fact. Now, what's not excellent is my memory of the songs that I can play with this hunting horn. I'm assuming this is an attack up and a defense up horn, so we're gonna go with that. We're going to rather hope that that's what it is, and if it's not that, then I will be notably confused. You will be able to see that for yourself. Yes, I'm bringing Tranks to a Shengalden hunt, so laugh as much as you'd like. This is going to be really fast. This is going to be an extremely fast hunt. It's all high damage Pierce, which will be aided and abetted by my excellent hunting horn attack up large ability. I guess we'll call it buff. Ability is a bit clinical, isn't it? Bit soulless, unromantic, prosaic, etc., etc. Let's go. We're going to find out. Oh. Well, if you need to, yep, if you forgot to do something, by all means go and do it. I would, oh. Himari has also forgotten to do something. Did I miss a memo or what? That's so American. Did you get the memo? Ooh. Makes me shudder. Of all the things to pass my lips. Oh, you don't see each other. I see. Well, I'm glad that you guys did fix that. That probably would have resulted in a communications error. I wait with patience for now. All three hunters have now joined the quest and then left the room only to come back. Well, I shouldn't say only to come back, that was expected of them, but... It has delayed us needlessly. Let us depart, forthwith, post haste. Is this a meme or what? Did I miss the joke? What's happening? Is connectivity that poor? Is it my fault? Alright. It's finally happened. We're departing on the quest. It'll be interesting to see how this setup is without my windscreen on my microphone. The great irony is that I actually waited probably a good 3 weeks to record because I didn't have a windscreen. I had to acquire one. And yeah, if I never needed one in the first place, then that's quite embarrassing. Look, my guess is that I never did. It's just I had it in my head that I needed one, and I wasn't going to record anything until I could get it. So, that was the way I approached it. No rush, of course, to get into this area, unless you want to be the host, I suppose. Because we do have to wait some time for the monster to enter the battleground. It's a time to have pre-quest drinks. Cheers, everyone. Sorry, I hope that's not on camera. My glass is below the camera, that's good news. I hate it when I put a drink down and it's still visible on the camera. It's really frustrating. I suppose you could describe it as a pet peeve. Yeah, pet peeve. You've done it now. I do have to, at my earliest convenience, get a new controller. Because the analog sticks, I was going to say the analog stick singular, and then I decided to make it plural, which made me sound weird. I sounded like I had a form of speech impediment. Basically, the analog sticks are really inaccurate. They don't have a full range of movement, to be honest. So, I do need to get a controller that's actually not shit. And once I have a controller that's better than something that I would happily characterize as shit, the sooner I'm going to start enjoying using a controller again. I thought it was, you know, fine and dandy until I started to use it for some length of time. The first time I realized it was when I played a Souls game with it, and I was just shocked. Like, I couldn't fucking run in a straight direction. My character's like snapping back and forth while going forwards is so bad. It's because of that limited range of movement. You don't have any fluidity. It's literally snapping back and forth as I go in a forward direction. It's actually unacceptable, so yeah, like you can see a little bit of it here. See, like when I move my... See how it snaps? It's just me gently moving it from side to side, diagonally forward. So, yeah, that's the range of movement. It's fucking bad. Excuse me. I may as well be using a D-pad. Or WASD. Alright. Let's play some music. No, I want to go in this direction. Oh, am I going to be affected by tremor, is the question. 'Tis the golden question. Yes, I remember now how to chain it. I forgot how to chain it, so... I am a failure. Now this should be defense. This is assuming that I've got defense. Yes, I do have defense. It's because of the note color. Like, if you've got certain note colors, you can predict what songs you can play if you're familiar with the notes. The point is that I'm not familiar with the notes. I very much should be, but I'm not. So, obviously the majority of the damage, and not just the majority, we're talking probably 98% of the damage that's going to be dealt to this monster is going to be dealt by the other two hunters. I can actually see that Ishar is using heroics on top of everything else. So, yeah, but the point is that I am actually contributing to their damage by boosting it. This is going to be a very quick hunt, all things considered. And by that I mean, you do have to account for the fact that we stand around waiting for a while. Yeah, I'm going to get in there and start hitting the face. This is going to be a little bit of a beating. A wanton act of barbarism, to be honest. The monster's not going to have a chance to do anything. See, it actually can't advance. Now imagine if everyone was going heroics. That would be a sight to behold. I'm keeping an eye on the attack song. I will replay it once it runs out. Unreal. Unreal. That is some immense damage right there. All shooting through the shell to get the weak point. Or as other people affectionately call it, the penis. That is the crab penis. Presumably, because it does urinate. Urine is... well, not necessarily from this crab, but... rather frequently, urine is expelled from that phallus on the other crabs, so... I think it's safe to say that it's a crab penis. Of some description. There's a lot of signaling going on. There could actually be some deep intellectual discussion taking place as a result of these signals. And I do mean that honestly. What I mean, not literally as I said it, but what I mean is that there is a language that exists with these people. They ping for everything. So, yeah, they might actually be communicating meaningfully, I guess is what I should say. That's what I mean. They are having meaningful discussion through signals. It's actually funny to watch. Alright. Or they could just be pinging for fun. That's also entirely possible. I suppose the point is that I don't really know. I should double check to see what my progress is looking like for the Shengalden Greatsword. I think I started working on it. It should be Galden Coin. Where the fuck is it? Are you telling me that I don't have it? Or maybe I can forge... where is it? Bronze coin. Garden Spine. For goodness sake. I probably actually have the G-rank stuff. Presumably it's the low rank materials that I don't have in my possession at this stage. Hey Peaberry. The hunts have been going well, I would say. I've definitely had worse hunts. We'll put it in those terms. Random hunt. Twin Terrors. Well, let's do it. Do you guys know the strategy for only engaging one at a time? I think you get them both standing at the end and then you pull one of them. If you guys know the strategy for that, could we do that? Okay, so for the uninitiated, Twin Terrors is 2 Rajang in the arena at the same time. And it sucks. It's good for sky tickets, but, you know, there's no other fucking reason why you would do it. It's just painful. It's miserable. Para Sword and Shield is a good idea. Look, there is a strategy for only fighting one at a time. I think what you do is you go into the room and you pull them both to the far end. You stand up on the ledge, and while avoiding getting fucking destroyed, you farcast out, and then you wait for them to stop being, I guess, it's not enraged, it's... when a monster has seen a player, they're sort of activated almost. Once they become passive, then when you enter the area, they won't immediately see you. So you have to actually wait for them to become passive. So... I've been told to do it. Well, by the sounds of it, I'm actually best placed to do it. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe Tifa actually would be better at it than me, but would just like to see me fail. I suppose it would make more sense for me to do it for demonstration purposes. So, let's give that a try. I will bring... Fuck. Ice damage. How about... Do I have Ice Rapid? Bow. Ice Rapid Bow? Icicle Bow, what the fuck? So that's... No, that's Scatter. Ice. Is that rapid? No, it wouldn't be, would it? Of course not. I do not have Ice Rapid, which is absurd. Okay, what do I want to use then? I suppose I can use regular Rapid. Regular Rapid. Non-elemental Rapid is actually what I meant when I said that, rather cryptically. Doomlink's so mysterious. What does he mean? Doomlink's so mysterious, I've got no fucking idea what he means when he talks to me. Alright. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I'm missing. No, I'm pretty sure that I have the strategy down. I need to... I don't remember how long we have to wait. I'm going to assume about 2 minutes for them to stop being aggressive. But, yeah, this is the only strategy that I've encountered that is sensible for fucking Twin Terrors. All the rest of it is just... It requires skill, and I'm not skilled in that way. In that sort of way. Is Twin Terrors... It must be an event quest. I think it is. Twin Terrors, yes. So Sky tickets are the same as Cosmic tickets, so anyone who is familiar with Cosmic tickets, same thing. You can trade a Sky ticket for Heavenly Scales and other similarly rare materials. Oh dear. Do I have much confidence in our ability to succeed here? Not really. I'm going to try it down for fun. Please inform the other guy that I'm going to... hold on. Who's... Let me just see if everyone is in the Discord chat. So, who is this other guy? It's Orion. Oh, it's, what do I call him? Warm turkey or something like that? Anyway, cold chicken, yes. Well, it's probably faster to type in the in-game chat, isn't it? Yeah, I'll just make a quick comment there, just so that everyone's on the same page. Looks like he's already been told to wait at camp, so that's good. Alright. Hopefully I've got enough coatings. In fact, I will bring combination materials for coatings, just in case. I don't think I'm going to... Oh no, I already have combo books, so that's nice. Nitroshrooms. And let's go. Wait, do I have a Farcaster? I always carry them, but just in case I didn't have one this time, I thought that it would be a good idea to make sure. Because that would be probably the best way for me to botch this whole strategy, and that is to not bring a fucking Farcaster. Alright. Hopefully I've got the strategy down right. Hey guys. I don't know if it's worth actually paintballing you. Get over here. I probably should have just made a run for it immediately, instead of delaying my activity. Alright. So, this is dangerous business. I want both of them in the corner, you see. They need to both be in the corner. It's important. I'm not doing it for fun, they need to both be here. No, both of you, please. That's gonna kill me! Obviously when it goes well, they're both right there. They need to be both pretty much touching the wall, but we'll try that anyway. Maybe they will be in the right position. Maybe really all that's required is for one of them to be right in the corner, and then that way they'll be out of range. So what we need to do, I'm pretty sure, is wait here for them to stop being, I guess, angry. They need to be disengaged, which happens over time. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know how long we have to wait. I used to do it with double black Gravios back in Monster Hunter Freedom 1. So, I don't know if the strategy has changed in this game, but that's what I'm doing. It was a lot easier. Well, I want to say it was easier with Gravios, but there are times when Gravios just sits back and shoots fire lasers at you and refuses to move. So maybe that's not easier after all. It's more likely that a Gravios is going to do that than a Rajang. Rajang has the capacity to stand in one place and fucking shoot a beam at you, but definitely not as common. Well, I'm not going to go based on quest time. I didn't actually check to see how long I was in there. So, I guess we'll just... Is it worth going for it? I actually haven't used a Farcaster yet. Let me check it out. Here we go. Alright, so whoever's got a gun... Actually, no one's got a gun. Oh, hello. This is excellent. So we're going to stay... No. No. Okay, so that one needs to... We don't want to go too far in that direction. Has he seen us? No, he hasn't seen us. So yeah, we need to stay pretty much as far away as we can. Smoke bombs definitely help. That's true. Not required, actually, but they certainly help. Those of us who are ranged need to make sure that we don't accidentally send an arrow in the other Rajang's direction. That's very important. In the interest of dealing a decent amount of damage over a short space of time, I'm going to shoot... Oh, fucking hell. Now we've got 2 deaths. That's not good. But yeah, I'm not just going to wait until the face presents itself to me. I'm so glad I can take a hit. Just barely, though. Just barely. But yes, it's obviously very important that we stay as far on this side as we can, so as not to anger the other one. Alright. I am cognizant of the fact that if I were to be hit with that health, I'd be dead, so I do need to make sure that I'm basically at full health. Well, I'm glad that we got the strategy right, but we didn't get the part where we don't play like shit right. That part, we struggled with. So let's try that again, but with a little bit less garbage play. Anyway. Inclusive of me, of course. Inclusive of me. Alright. So, I wasted an ancient potion now. Tempting to quit and reload, but I won't do it. What I'll do instead... Well, there's not much point saving now, is there? Because we're not going to try it again. I'm not really inclined to do that. Okay. Let's dust ourselves off and give it another try. It's certainly doable. I'm slightly tempted to use something different. But no, I'll keep with this. I will keep with this. Hopefully there. See, I don't like saying AI anymore. I always go to say AI, but it means something different now. The monster AI. I suppose the meaning is understood, but it just doesn't feel quite right to use that word now. I'm trying to remember what I used to say before AI. Because I've been saying monster AI or enemy AI for, let's say, 12 or 13 years, but then before then, there would have been a different word. Anyway. Behavior? I guess we could say behavior, yeah. Looks like we're all going fucking Exterminator Bow now. I might actually snoop their armor sets. Well, that's interesting. What? Focus, normal up, or rapid bow up, and reckless abandon +1. Without a mixed set. I don't know, keep it simple sometimes is the best way to do it. You'll copy me now. Well, yeah, I've no qualms about you copying my full Rajang armor set. Alright. Just making sure I've got everything I need. Yes, I do. I don't know if it's necessary for us to wait as long as we did. I think it is. So just in case, we're going to do that again. 3 bow disgust. No, it's fine. It's good damage, I think. I'm pretty sure. Let's see how we go. Alright, the strategy this time is going to be... Oh, whoops. I think that's in 3rd gen where your character becomes afraid and stands still, I think. When spotted, that is. Whoa. Alright, so we're going to get them in this corner. I think that's the furthest position for them to be in. Alright, here we go. This is excellent, excellent, excellent. No hopping back now. No hopping back. That is much better. I'm much happier with where they are. Now, it could also be said that it's more dangerous, technically, to have them both really far away, because if they're both really far away, then that might raise the risk of pissing off both of them by going too close. I don't know. Maybe the best scenario is to have one really far away and another one much closer to the door. But anyway. I've only successfully done Twin Terrors, I would say. Like, since this game came out, I've probably only successfully completed Twin Terrors about 3 times. Maybe even twice. So, I haven't done this quest very much. What are you running into? Oh. It's very funny because this whole object was off screen. But I could see you were running into something and it was not visible to me. Perfectly placed camera angle for that. What's this contraption? Maybe it's for the gates? Is there like a gate system that links to? Those chains are going into the sand. I don't understand. That was a lovely rhyme, Doomlink. Do it again. Alright, I think it's safe to go in. I will apply my coatings before I go in, so that I can be slightly more effective. Or efficient, maybe we'll say. Alright, let's see how they move. You see what I mean? This is actually a bit more dangerous, isn't it? When they're both really far away. I think I've now realized how we're going to do this strategy. Here we go. There's one of them. Yeah, that was scary. That was rather dangerous, actually. Okay. Now, we just need to pretend like there's only one here. Oh, no! Oh, no! Well, I shouldn't say pretend that there's only one here. I guess we shouldn't give in to the pressure. Let's treat this as if it's an even easier version of, what's it called? You know, the Gold Rajan quest. Let's just pretend it's an easier version of that, in the sands, that we don't have to chase him around. He's just in one location. We'll do it that way. Should not be shooting at such close range. Just fuck all in terms of damage. I'd like to go for head opportunities, but there's something within me. There's a sense of urgency there. I feel like I need to be hitting this monster more frequently than I would be if I were only hitting the face. Yeah, it's a bit of old school strategizing. I have to admit that I don't do much of this on camera. I do a lot of this in my own time, but when I'm recording Doomlink's live hunts, I'm usually not not in the mood for this kind of shit. But this is what we got in the random hunts, so this is what we're doing. So remember, this one does have reduced health, well both of them do, so we just need to be persistent and just deal as much damage as we can and just keep it consistent. And obviously stay alive. I think that really is the key to success here. It's staying alive. Enough damage will eventually be dealt to kill this thing, as well as the other one. But we do need to stay alive in order to deal that damage and have the quest be successful. So let's just, I guess, focus on surviving rather than... Look at that. Look at that. That's all we just need to survive that long. It's not that hard. Alright. Aha. Those swinging fists have some considerable range. Okay, one death away from failure, everyone. Can we do it? Again, play conservatively. Play with care. That's the only way we can do this. We have to survive, you know. That's what's needed. Also, never roll in that direction away from a Raja. That's kind of the golden rule. Get it? Oh! I'm really sorry to see that you've broken off. I don't know why you are so misfortunate. Unfortunate is the word, not misfortunate. But you are, and I'm sorry. I don't know, get an Ethernet cable and stick it into your phone or something. Whatever is required to not fucking disconnect during what is likely to be a successful Twin Terrors hunt. To be fair, he is probably watching the live stream while I'm... Actually, I think he's the one who's not watching it, so... Yeah. Maybe it's not to do with the fact that he's watching me live at the same time he's playing. Not so scary after all, are you, you big monkey fuck? That's the taste of success right then. But yeah, you can see how quickly they're dispatched. It's because they have that reduced health. It makes a difference. If you can fight them one at a time, it works. It's comfy. But yeah, that strategy is very first gen in Origin. Pretty much from the beginning of Monster Hunter, that strategy that I just used there. I've probably only used it once for Twin Terrors. But it's worked wonders in other arena hunts, so yeah. Yeah, good hunt for sure. Double Golden Rajang in the arena simultaneously. Himari says, all me. And I don't mean me, I mean him. Sky ticket? Fuck you. Don't even give me a sky ticket after all that. I got 5 golden eggs, which... Do you know what? I'm actually quite happy to get the golden eggs, because the money helps. I won't complain about 5 golden eggs ever again, I swear. I will get what I am given and I will like it, I guess is what I would say. It would be of little consolation to someone who wasn't constantly forging weapons to receive all of these golden eggs, but anyway. I should have just kept them there and sold them when I exited, but I chose not to do it that way. Okay. Where are my golden eggs? There they are. I've got a few steel eggs, but as you can see, not much money can be acquired from selling them. Alright. There are probably things that... I think there are fate decorations that you can make with golden eggs, and you never know, there might be armor pieces as well that you can make with golden eggs, but look, if I fucking need them for something, I'll go and get them deliberately. I'm not in the mood to keep them in my inventory. It's money that I would rather have not in golden eggs, but rather, I need to liquidate the commodity. It's important. Okay. Random hunt. What can you craft with sky tickets? It's not so much what you craft, it's what you actually trade it for. So you can give them to the Veggie Elder, and in return you will get a heavenly scale. The heavenly scale that you get depends on which locale you're in when you give it to the Veggie Elder. So it's not entirely random. You'll just have to look up a list, like I can find a list and tell you. So, Freedom Unite Veggie Elder trades list. So, I guess I'll sky ticket. So, in the Snowy Mountains, it's a Tigrex Heavenly. In the jungle, it's a Lao Shan Lung Heavenly. In the desert, it's a Gauden Heavenly. In the swamp, it is a Black Gravios Heavenly. Great Forest is Rathian. Old Jungle is Nagakuga. And Old Swamp is Standard Gravios. And that's what you can get. It's not all of them, obviously, but it's fucking better than nothing. It's nice to have the option. Anyway, I will go and eat. And I didn't actually check to see what the next hunt is. I will do that now. It is Black Diablos and Standard Diablos. I would rather peel the skin off my penis and eat it, to be honest, but we're gonna do it anyway. Sorry, anything relating to Diablos just makes me think of penises. It's what happens when you've got a quest called the Black Phalanges. Phalanges? Phalanges? I think it's phalanges. Anyway. It's a word that I've only ever seen written, okay. Now. What would I like to use for this quest? Anything ice element that would be fun? I'm actually tempted to use ice gunlance. I mean, how bizarre is that? Ice gunlance on a Diablos. That's almost absurd. But I'm doing it. It's not that I am living dangerously, it's that I'm living passionately. Now, is that what I had before? Are those the skills that come with this set? Doesn't look like much, does it? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It's not that I dislike the skills, I just thought that they were rather limited. Alright. Now, I believe that it's or rather an, event quest. Dual Twin Horns Arena. Is it simultaneously? Are we going to use the same strategy? Should we do it? I bet it's simultaneously. Sorry, I need to be looking at quest names. That will make it much easier to find what I need. Arena of Blood and Tears. That does not sound very appropriate. I'm sorry, very appropriate. What I mean is, it doesn't sound very enjoyable. I became distracted because I saw that Kezu was in the lineup, and I have to tell you, the funniest thing, I would say, and this really is quite a statement to make, probably the funniest thing in old Monster Hunter, whether it's first generation or second generation, is Kezu spawning in the moat arena. It's really funny. I don't know what it is, but what he does is he jumps this incredible distance. And it's the most awkward thing you've ever seen. I mean, something that looks like that, jumping that distance, is very entertaining to witness. That's all I can tell you. And I think he makes a noise too. I'm almost certain he makes a noise. Not for the entire duration of his travel through the air, but, you know, I'd imagine he makes some sort of grunt at the beginning of the jump, and then you have to wait ages for him to make the next noise when he lands, because he's probably airborne for the best part of 3 seconds while he's fucking crossing the water. It's really funny. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I don't know what to tell you. Look back through all of my Freedom Unite live streams and find one with Kezu in the moat arena. It's not a very viewer-friendly suggestion, but at least it would involve you watching my live streams, so I will stick with that advice. Okay, so what we're going to do, I would like to actually be advised as to whether or not it's both at the same time. My guess is that it is, and if it is, we're going to try and cheese it. Because 2 Diablos at the same time, in the arena, I am willing to say, is probably fucking worse than 2 Rajang in the arena at the same time. Oh, you're going to use the flash bomb strategy? Okay, we'll just do that then. That's easy. I actually prefer that. Flash bomb strategy. I'm very excited to use a gun lance on a Diablos. I never do that. Just saw something funny in the chat. Alright, let's go. Tifa says he uses the stay in camp strategy. Let's go for flash bomb, see how it goes. I'd like to get both, but I'll let them deal with that one and I'll flash bomb the other one. When it eventually... I should have actually brought sonic bombs, that would have been a good idea. That would have been an excellent idea, in fact. I like how he changed fucking directions, really? Oh my god, the flash bomb strategy is not looking quite as clean as I was expecting. I'm not flash bombing into the wall. That's unlikely to succeed. Yeah, well, wasn't looking enough in my direction. Look, I have thrown 3 flash bombs, and only one of them has worked in any sort of meaningful way, so... So fucking sick of this crap. Really? Alright, I'm beside myself. I am incensed and disgusted at the circumstances. Like, seriously, what the fuck? I need to take a back seat from the flash bombing because that was bad. No, I should have continued. I thought I maybe needed to reposition to hit that leg, but in actual fact, the leg was positioning or repositioning for me. Ah, damn it. I have to aim for the leg because that's the most consistent thing that I can hit. Except for when that shit happens. Well, things seem to be going well. Especially because the monster's dead. That's a good indication. That's a really good indication. I'm out of wine. I suppose we don't really have to flash bomb now, but it's tempting. I'll just raise my shield. That's good timing for my Wyvern Fire because I was just thinking about it. I was wondering when I might be able to make use of it. Couldn't quite get him. There's a lot of pinging going on. I don't know what it means. I'm sure it means something. I'm not sure it's just random, or rather, I wouldn't presume it to be random. I'm sure that there was meaning. I'm sure all 3 of them are now better informed. As for myself, I've got no idea. But, yeah. Freedom Unite communication. And I do say Freedom Unite because it is this community specifically that does it like that. No one else does. It's funny. Don't do your tail swing. I don't require that at this time. Very close to using a flash bomb. Well, it was a little bit of a waste, but I suppose you could say great minds think alike. So I don't feel quite so bad about it after all. Alright, we'll go for the leg that doesn't scratch the ground. How about that? Sounds a little more sensible, doesn't it? How about we aim for the horns? Ow. I have reason to suspect this is not on any... it's not on the strength of any sort of previous knowledge or experience, but my complete guess is that this is a quest where you can actually get the rare horn drops as a quest reward. That may be entirely untrue, but I'm just going to hope and pray that that's how it works. Because when you get those as a quest reward, it's part of the recognition of the fact that you've completed a difficult hunt. But if they're not in quest rewards, then I will accept that. I haven't any other choice. This is actually not my typical white wine glass, I just realized. I usually use this for red wine. But I don't know. Went and grabbed a random glass and that's what it ended up being. It's not like you really need a special glass for one or the other. I suppose it is customary to have a very large glass for some red wines. Probably for the nose. Hey, look at that. Stout warped horn. That must be... for crafting a specific... And look at that, stout black twisted horn. I'm quite sure that stout warped horn is an event item, specific to this quest. But stout black twisted horn, I'm quite sure, is the rare drop from Black Diablos. Now, I did see. I saw that only one horn was broken on both Diablos, so... I mean, assuming that I'm correct in that, is that this is the rare item, I would say that I was generally correct in my assumption and, obviously, hope, whether realistic or otherwise, that the rare horn drop is actually just part of the quest rewards rather than being strictly wound reward. And that's good news. I don't know if I needed the horns for anything. I think the last time I needed horns was for the bow, but I've already forged that. Unless I was making the lands, it's possible I was making the lands. But at this stage it doesn't appear that I am actually making the lands, which is fine. So, I don't know what that... Let me just double check to see what is used for the... No, I do know what's used for the bow that I was thinking of. And that is... yeah. So there is a good firebow. A good Diablos firebow called the Dia Sorter, something like that. And I do own it, but that's actually from Demon King Diablos, the event quest. So, with the understanding that it's not going to be for that, it makes me wonder what that's used for. Does anyone know what that item is? Because I'm pretty sure that's not... Because it said stout warped horn. Like, it's different to the standard one, I think. If it is the standard rare drop of a regular Diablos, then that's kind of embarrassing. I'm quite sure that it's not that, but if it is, then... There you go, fucking Pirate Jason. Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. I'm not seeing anything new pop up right now, so... I don't think it was called a warped horn, but maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. Anyway. Next hunt. We're getting some interesting ones rolled. I don't oppose them. Ugh. Yeah, actually, that's interesting as well. Kutku, Garuga, and Azure Rathalos. I don't mind that. It's kind of interesting. Alright. Common weakness? Not really. I suppose... they're probably... No, I don't think Azure Rathalos is very weak to ice. I'm quite sure that he's not. I think he's Thunder and Dragon. Or Dragon and Thunder. For primary and secondary. Let me just double check that. It's the second time now I've felt that I needed to check the weaknesses. Come on, hurry up. Azure Rathalos free to me now. Fuck off. He is still decently weak to ice. And I believe that those other monsters are weak to ice as well. Primarily weak to water, but I think their secondary weakness is actually ice. So I think ice element would be ideal for this quest. Let me just double check that. Yeah. Garuga is immensely weaker to water than he is to ice, but ice is still his secondary. And then Kutku, not that it really matters, is... I love it when this happens. Weakness, Kutku. No data on monster Kutku yet. Did you mean Kezu? No, I did not. Clearly I did not mean Kezu. Anyway, let's just go with an ice weapon. As for what ice weapon, I'll make a decision. Soon. Yeah, let's use Lance. Why not? No, actually, I've suddenly decided that I don't want to use Lance. Because of Garuga. Unless I stay... okay, I'll just stay focused on the head of Garuga then. Well, I won't be lazy, I'll just go for gold and aim for the face. Like a real man. Alright. Have I consumed food? I have not consumed food. Yeah. Good idea, Peaberry. I don't know why I haven't even been doing that. As you know, that's my usual strategy for checking a monster weakness. Yeah, let's have a quick gander at Kutku's elemental weaknesses from the armor. Very occasionally that's not accurately reflective of monster weakness, but for the most part it's pretty accurate. Apparently this is new to Forge, which is fucking bullshit. What have we got here? So, yep, looks like ice and water are about the same. So, definitely ice element is ideal. So let's go for that. As for the name of this quest, I don't remember it, but I'm sure I'll find it. I think it's... event. I believe so. It's nice to have all of them loaded. For those who, you know, remember the old days, you used to have to go into the download screen and download 4 quests that you could have loaded on at each time. And that was just miserable. Okay. No. Where is it? I think it might not be. Is it an epic quest? I don't think it is. Oh, whoops. Did I? No. Don't worry. I thought I did something really bad. Yeah, it's G2 star. I should have just checked, really. This is the one. HR8. Human resources, 8. Doomlink is terribly funny. Did you notice that? When I said that I thought I did a terrible thing, I thought I had actually clicked and compressed my game window, which would actually squash the game. Not just for me, but I think for you as well. But I don't think I did that. I desperately hope I didn't do that. I can't notice it, or rather, I don't notice any difference at this stage, but if I have done that, then that's pretty bad. What's also pretty bad is when I'm going in the opposite direction to where I should be going on this map. My memories are so strange right now. There has to be a reason why I'm thinking that. Why does my memory tell me that Area 5 is above Area 4 in the Forest and Hills? There must be some very strange crisscrossing of memories from the deserted island which have actually just been pasted over my memories of the Forest and Hills. Who knows? That's what happens when you play too much Try. That's all I can tell you. That's just bizarre. Okay, we are starting off, presumably, with the young Kutku. I think it is one at a time. I'm probably not going to be able to contribute very much. It's probably going to be just about dead by the time I get there. Yeah, so when I said just about dead by the time I get there, yeah, that's the situation. Good work, guys. Keep doing that. So, does Yian Garuga spawn here? Presumably, yes. Same kind of monster as Mr. Kutku. Yes, okay, thank you. Oops, beacon is triangle, Doomlink. Not square. Oh. Get him while he's down. Yeah, I did the most damage. That hunt was all me. It's more colourful if I signal as well. I imagine in my mind that all of their signals are very much like genuine communication, and then I signal and they're like, what? What? What does he mean? Why? Huh? So, I will actually tell you what that was. Those 2 pings there. So one of those pings, I didn't see who hit the monster. One of those pings was an apology. The other one was either recognition of the apology or an expression of anger. I don't know which of the two. As absurd as that might sound, it's true. That's how communication works in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. One of those signals was definitely an apology. And the reason why is because... So, yeah, that was an apology for hitting me away from the monster there. But basically, if you hit a monster before it's discovered you in this game, like any flying monster, that will cause the monster to fly away. It might not be guaranteed for the Wrath monsters, but I know it definitely is for Yian Garuga and Kutku, etc. So... That's a scary attack combo, I don't like that at all. Oh, that's very good. I'll try to stay out of the way of Luna. I like how I was worried about bouncing off this fucking monster when I've got purple sharpness. What's actually wrong with me? My sharpness is the same color as the monster, and I'm still afraid. The beauty of fucking evade extender. Sorry, evasion skill increase. What's it called again? No, it is evade distance up. Okay, sorry. I suppose I was being a bit silly. Oh, shut up. I'm not going to try and interpret the signal of Ishar that time. Some of the signals I can interpret, I believe accurately, and then others I simply cannot. They make no sense. But then you also have to account for the possibility that some of them are actually just entirely random and for fun, and not related to communication. That's the beauty of it. That's the fucking curveball. You sit there and you're like, what does that one mean? But actually it was just for fun. I mean, that's maddening, actually. I'd say this is definitely where the monster will spawn. It is Azur Rathalos. Coming next. It's all been quite quick, hasn't it? We've been killing these monsters very fast. It's because we are a good team. We are effective, but to be honest, it's that way in any Monster Hunter game. Any Monster Hunter game at G rank level, if you've got 4 hunters that are all appropriately geared for the G rank hunt, and they're not literally incompetent, the hunts are quick and easy. It's just how it is. 4 endgame hunters deal a lot of damage to any monster, except for, you know, Elder Dragons, I suppose. Elder Dragons take a little bit longer, but there you are. We're not fighting any Elder Dragons at the moment. We did fight a Shen Galren, which is not an Elder, but I suppose Elder class, and still fucking dispatched that monster in what was effectively 3 minutes of combat. Probably less. It felt more like 2 minutes. It was unbelievable how quick that was dealt with. Almost wish I had my flash bombs right now. Look at this crab. Just engage us. He's deliberately fighting us in the most sneaky way possible. Getting a few hits in and then getting well out of our range. And also jumping and running at great speed. Just unnecessary, to be honest. He's stalling, actually. I mean, this here is a stalling tactic. Fucking hate Rathalos. You know, there are people who actually like this monster. It's just sad. I don't understand it. I suppose I have to respect it. Or perhaps we'll say I can't, you know, disrespect it. I can't... They do have the right to have an opinion, I suppose, is what I would say. At least I got one poke in. Still got the fucking wind pressure. I think this time from the fireball. He's a limping. Yeah, I had a feeling that was a killing blow. Nicely done. I don't think... No, I don't have a pickaxe. I was suddenly in the mood to mine. I don't know why. But, no, I do not have a pickaxe and cannot partake in the pleasures of working the land. Does mining count as working the land? That's an important question. You would never refer to it as such. Working the land exclusively refers to farming. But if you think about it, mining is also working the land. Or can you argue that anything subterranean is not land in the sense of the phrase, or in the original meaning of the phrase? The land probably means, you know, the surface of the earth rather than the depths of the earth. These are important questions that we raise here on the Doomlink's Life Hunts live stream. But I don't think we are any more enlightened after having raised the question than we were before the question was raised. But I have officially decided, just to speak for myself, that mining is also working the land. That's what I have decided in my heart. Alright, next quest. I typed ransom hunt again. Who should I hold for ransom? Oh, Rathalos. Okay. No, we're not holding Rathalos for ransom. That is the monster that we are going to be hunting next. Just a standard Rathalos on his own. I don't mind. It's a little bit of fun. Another ice weapon is in order. And I think this... No, I'm not going to use longsword. I will use a hammer. I will keep it boring. Well, perhaps not boring for you guys. I don't whip out the hammer very often. I have to say, this is not an attractive hammer. I suppose it's because the ice effect is very underwhelming. It's the texture. I say effect, I really should say the ice. Design on the hammer. The ice design on the hammer is poor. The texture is very low resolution and thoroughly unconvincing. So it makes the hammer look pretty boring. That's what I meant by boring. Okay. King Robed in Smoke is the name of the quest. It's an opportunity to hunt a full health Rathalos. It is not a multi-hunt. And he will also be in the Old Volcano, which is a fun locale. It gives rise to the classic scenario of Rathalos sleeping on the island, and you need to fucking throw something at him in order to wake him up. It is stupid. It's really stupid. I mean, yes, you should have something that you can throw on hand at all times. If not a paintball, then, well, it's usually a paintball, but, you know, it could be a trank, it could be a paintball, it could be a stone, could be many different things. But if you really are in that unenviable position of having nothing to throw, your only recourse is to fucking stand there and watch the monster sleep and recover its health progressively. It's really bad. Alright, let's go. The horns sound and the hunters depart. A red dragon is their target. And he's very skinny compared to 3rd generation and beyond. Very long, skinny neck. It began quite poetic and then ended rather unpoetic, I guess. I don't know where we're going, actually. Is he over there? Is he somewhere else? I don't have psychoserums, and I forgot where he spawns, because I haven't done this hunt in a long time. Oh, he is here. Whoops. Very much off target there. Let me fix that. Please don't do a tail swing. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I did get an immediate apology, which I was very much entitled to, actually. Very much entitled to that apology. I'm not grateful for it, because again, you're generally not grateful for that which you're entitled to. So, you know, you just expect it, it's a given. So yes, the apology was accepted, and nothing more. You know, how dare you harm the hammer user? Ugh. Unpleasant. I suppose I should just be doing super pounds. That is the safest option. That is actually the most efficient option as well. Because the safest option simultaneously becomes the most efficient option. Because that way I'm not fucking healing myself constantly. I'm getting in there and dealing the damage when I can. I don't want to hit this guy. You see what I mean? Like, I had to be off target so that I didn't hit him. But you see, some players are very head-centric. You can see why. It works, it's just, it sucks when you're the hammer person. Whoa! Fucking hell! Already flinching. This was supposed to be a full health Rathalos, and he's actually dying at about the same speed as the ones with the reduced health. Like, I think the Azura Rathalos lasted longer than this one. And he was one of 3 monsters in the quest. We're actually about to fail the hunt. That would have been really funny if we failed. I don't know what they're all saying to each other, but I'm joining in. That was pretty bad. I'm just going to say that that was me. It was a bit delayed. It was a bit awkward. But I think it was me. Can I just be the first person to say that I've never seen anyone in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite use the Ukanlos dual blades. I've never seen it before. I can't believe it. Have any of you seen it? I've never seen anyone use the Ukanlos dual blades. It's actually shocking. If you were to have asked me before today what the Ukanlos dual blades looked like, I wouldn't have been able to give you an answer. I actually thought that... I thought one of them was like a blunt object. Maybe I'm thinking of the sword and shield. Maybe the sword and shield is a bit more blunt. But yeah, there you go. It was a fast hunt. It was pretty good. Yeah, very impressed with the team performance. Obviously, most of that was Luna, or Tifa, with his adroit use of the greatsword. Oh, fuck. You see how my... I'm not going to draw attention to it. Pretend I didn't say anything. Which is probably easy to do when you're like, what? I didn't even catch what he said anyway. So, yeah. Strange as it might sound to be advised by the streamer to stop listening to what he's saying, yes, that is what I would advise for you to do. At least that time. In that moment. Yes, please report us for cheating. That was a cheated quest. That was us hacking. We hacked. Like, I'll do some button mashing. What do they call it these days, ASMR? Hacking. Hacking into the system. Give Tifa 64 times attack. What? I can't even think of the stereotypical catchphrases of those sort of movies. What do they say? Oh, there's one. I guess there's one. Enhance. Enhance, but that's usually to do with, like, you know, once you've got a photo up and then you zoom in. Enhance. Enhance. You know, that's one example, but sadly not relevant to what I'm joking about at this time. I'm in! Breaking down the firewall. Attacking the mainframe. Mainframe? That's a good one. I like mainframe. I'm hacking into the... Hold on. I'm hacking into the Freedom Unite mainframe. I'm in! Anyway, that was riveting. Thank you, Doomlink. I'm stuck in this screen. Okay, sure. Sort it. Just fucking stop. Whatever you were doing just then, I'm going to ask you to not only desist, but to never fucking do it again. I'm talking to the game now. I'm trying to reason and negotiate with it to not bring up random screens. I guess it's me hitting start by accident, and then I'm stuck here, and I'm like, how the fuck do I get out of that screen? Because if you press, you know, circle or cross, it doesn't do anything. You have to press start again. So the point is that if you press start accidentally, you don't realize that you should press the button again to get out of that screen. It's confusing. Now, you may actually counter me by saying, if you were to read what's on the screen, Doomlink, you would find that it tells you what to do. But you know, that's not your instinct. Your instinct is to, oh, I'm going to go back. So you press the back button. But when it doesn't do that, it's confusing. That's the point. We all take shortcuts. Not just in video gaming, but generally speaking. You know, when we know that something usually works, we go to that first. In my case, circle is usually back. Technically it's cross because I'm playing the Japanese version of Freedom Unite. But you know, it's confusing. That's my point. Was that rant in any way helpful? No. But I needed to get it off my chest. And thank you for listening. Okay. I don't think we decided on another quest. I've just been told that I'm engaging in cringe roleplay, which is definitely one assessment of what I was just doing. That is one assessment. Oh, fuck off. So we did that quest so quickly that even after I have waited maybe 3 minutes after completing it, my cooldown for the random hunt command still has yet to lapse. That's pathetic. That's just unbelievable. Alright. Himari has called Tifa Thiefa, which is actually really quite funny, and done another random hunt, so Gypsaros. Yeah, abolish random hunt cooldown. It is absurd. It's an absurdity. It's literally unfit for purpose. The current state of the random hunt system is unfit for purpose. But it's a sore spot. Because Zach and I quite passionately disagree with one another on that subject. I'm sure if I were a little bit more constructive with my criticism, rather than just being enraged and saying, this is shit, maybe he would be more inclined to listen to my grievances. But you know, like, sometimes something is so fucking unacceptable that you can't even bring yourself to explain why it's shit. You're just like, this is terrible, stop. This is awful. Bad. I'm a little bit like that with, you know, 5th gen Monster Hunter, but that's not entirely applicable as a comparison, because I do explain that. It's just usually I don't have the desire to explain it in depth, because that would actually necessitate me staying on the subject for longer than I would like to be on it for. What am I using? I'm going to use something fire related, not just fire related, not just something that appertains to fire, but in fact literally a fire weapon. Instead of being abstruse and cryptic, I could instead just speak English like a normal human being. Thank you. How about longsword? I have not used longsword in this recording. And I will obviously not bring any sort of raw resistance. That would be rather silly. Fire longsword. Wyvern blade. Camellia, I think is what it's called. Yes. Just standard Gypseros. Is there a more interesting quest that we could do that involves that monster? Perhaps a double quest? A single Gypseros is not very exciting. How about 2 purple? That's more fun. We'll do 2 purple. It's more substantial. At least we have to take the time to engage one, kill it, and then go to the next one. It elongates the hunt duration. And so therefore, it does give the illusion that it's more substantial. It may not actually be the same. Let me put it in these terms. It would probably be the same length of time from the moment that you departed on the quest to the moment you completed the quest. But it would feel like more time had passed because there was more that you were physically doing, you know. Killing one and then moving to the next one and killing the next one after it would feel like there was more task. More task? You were physically doing more, and therefore it's more substantial. So my explanation was disjointed, but honest and hopefully sufficiently comprehensive for you to be able to understand what precisely it is that I intended to communicate. That tail right there, now that's something I'm magnetized to. I like that tail, because it is one of the highest motion value weak points. Motion value? No. Motion value relates to the weapon, not to the weak point, Doomlink. The weak point of a Gypseros tail is so absurd. It's like a 70 for fire element to start with, and then for raw damage, I don't know, but it's huge. Trying to keep away from that wyvern fire blasting through. See how all 3 of them ping at the same time? There has to be a meaning behind that. I mean, I'm sure those of you who do not play Monster Hunter Freedom Unite must think that I'm pulling your leg by saying that their signals are actually communication, but did you see that all 3 of them pinged at the same time? Like they are communicating with each other. It's fucking weird, and it doesn't make sense to me. But, yeah. That's what's going on. It's fascinating. It's like going to an African an African country and finding a culture of people who have never been exposed to the modern human. It's literally that foreign, that alien, to watch these people communicate with signals in Freedom Unite. It's not random pings, you're fucking lying to me. I told you that some of it's random. I told you that some of it's random, but I know that most of it is like meaningful, deep communication where esoteric information is being transmitted via sound. Oh god. See, that ping happened just before the monster died. That must have meant, guys, it's about to die. See? That's what that signal meant. I'm translating it as we speak. That's That's a very good name for a monster drop. Hard purple Gypsaros wing. It's not just purple, it's hard. It's a firm wing. Rigid. He only just died. He hasn't gone stiff just yet. It seems that I actually broke off from them. Unless everyone, all at the same time, decided to abandon. Which, well, they can't abandon. I suppose they could turn off their VPN. That would work. But no, I'm going to assume that I was the one who broke off this time. It happens very rarely, but I suppose it's technically possible. This is the first time I've broken off at the end of a hunt in maybe 3 or 4 years. You see it all the time with other people, but yeah, like I said, it doesn't happen with me very much. Alright. That's that. Damn. I said that I would watch anime with my friend, and it's about time that we did that, but I'm enjoying myself, so we'll continue hunting until I cease to enjoy myself, or until it feels like an appropriate time to finish things up. Alright. Save the great forest towns! We've done this quest. Can someone else please reroll? Because we've done this quest. Just for the sake of keeping it on record, it's not a matter of preference. I'm not sitting here going, oh no, I don't like these monsters. It's not that. We've done this. You're on cooldown, of course, for fuck's sake. You're the one who rolled the last hunt. And we completed that perfectly legitimately within reasonable time, and you still have a cooldown. Beggars belief. Pride on the line. Black Diablos, Black Gravios, Nagakuga. That's terrible. But I shall do it. It's better than doing that other quest again. Is there a common elemental weakness? Not really. We'll go for something more generic. Well, general use. I shouldn't say generic. Has a rather negative connotation. A general use loadout, which I suppose translates to raw damage or poison. And that is my meaning. Anything that... Let me think about the monsters involved. So, if I used the absolute bow, for example, I could use... Yes, that's excellent. I can use fire on Nagakuga, water on Black Gravios, and ice on Black Diablos. Let's do that. Dear Diary, today I had a good idea. And that was to use the absolute bow. Gun. In parentheses. Yes, regrettably not visible to the naked eye. You actually need to go and play for Ultimate to see that. It's not visible in this game, but... Alright. I do need to double check to see if it's... No, it's G3. It is not DLC. Pride on the line. It's in the arena, but I'm pleased to report to anyone who has found themselves to be immediately concerned and overcome with disquiet. Fear not. It is one at a time. It is not 2 monsters at once, or, God forbid, 3 monsters at once. It is 1 at a time. Very easy. As they say in America, it's a walk in the park. It's real easy. You know, a walk in the park is not always easy. Can I just say that from my experience of watching true crime documentaries over the last 15 years, a walk in the park for some people can be the end of their life, okay? So the next time you go and say, it's like a walk in the park, think of those women who were killed walking through parks. Thank you. Public service announcement from Doomlink. Remember the old Sonic Says? I've decided that I'm going to be the next Sonic Says. Public fucking service announcement. Stop saying it's like a walk in the park. Because quite frankly, a walk in the park can be pretty dangerous, especially if there are Canadian geese involved, by the way. I dare you to go and walk through the park if there are Canadian geese in there with a nest. Good fucking luck. Honestly, the nerve of some people. In parks there are drug addicts and robbers. Not even kids go and play though. In some parks, perhaps. It depends where you are. Alright, so presumably we are starting with Diablos. Pretty good guess considering he is the first monster to appear on the bill. She! I just misgendered a monster. It is a she. Black Diablos, one of the few monsters that we can be assured of the fact that it is female. The rest are sort of, I don't know. Whatever you feel like. There was definitely a period of time where I referred to Elatrion as a she. I seem to recall that someone else did that and gave reasoning for it, and I thought, you know what, that makes sense. I'll refer to Elatrion as she as well. But now I couldn't really be bothered. I tend to default. Not on my finances, but on my terminology. Oh, really? I didn't... I mean, I've just been informed by Peaberry, and I have reason to believe that this is legitimate information and not intentional disinformation to troll Doomlink. But apparently, Mizutsune is always male. Like, what the fuck? Who finds this out? What obscure Japanese Monster Hunter art book contains this information? Which Twitter post from a Capcom developer revealed this information? Like, what the fuck? I suppose it is entirely possible that it's written somewhere in the game itself. Like, for example, Generations or Generations Ultimate, but far out. It's not that I lack respect for the gathering and collating of all this data, but sometimes it's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't care. I'm sorry, I'm here to hunt monsters. Shit. I mean, it's not entirely that way, because if I actually followed that to the letter, I'd probably be very much enjoying Monster Hunter Rise at the moment. Obviously, there is a lot more to the entire series than just hunting monsters, but yeah, as far as the little interstices of what precise gender is this monster, and, you know, the ecological data relating to these monsters, I don't know. I've got so much information that I need to store in my mind that relates to Monster Hunter that I don't have time to store that shit. Like, no way. That's crazy. Peaberry informs me that any monster that we engage, any Diablos, standard Diablos that we engage, is only male because only the males are angry and therefore dangerous enough to hunt. So, there you go. Yes, the sex art book Monster Hunter X Monsters. No, that's, it's actually Monster Hunter Triple Cross. And that's the name of the art book. It's a real scaly staple. It's a gateway to scalydom. Printed in 2007. And it's no. Sorry, I just have to clarify, that's complete bullshit. Hello, Hossein. Written by the Dundormer Questgiver. I don't remember the Dundormer Questgiver. Is this person the sort of individual that would write a book of that colour? Oh, here we go. Time to move to water shots. Why did I bring thunder? I'm supposed to bring fire, for goodness sake. This is not the game where the primary weakness of a Nagakuga is thunder. You can see how instinct takes over. Like, I must have been distracted and talking about things that I'm sure were incredibly important when I was choosing my ammunition. And because of my habit, well, perhaps not habit, I suppose my instinct, which has been overwritten from 3rd gen, with the understanding that my first impression in the past was that Nagakuga is primarily weak to fire, which was true for Freedom Unite, and I continued to believe that for many, many years throughout 3rd gen. Turned out actually it was thunder. So I had to unlearn that. And now that I've unlearned that, I don't have the flexibility to return, at least subconsciously, to the understanding, the fact of the situation that in this game, it's actually fire as a primary weakness. Yes, I just iframed that. Can I iframe this? I was actually very, very close. I did press that button, that X button, to roll at precisely the same time I got hit. Or perhaps not precisely the same time. Must have been just after. Really? Barfakuga. That's certainly a name. Well, at least thunder is still effective against Nagakuga in this game. It's just not the primary effective element. By Barfakuga, do you mean the green one? Because I think you're wrong. I think in Portable 3rd and 3 Ultimate, green Nagakuga is... it has the exact same elemental weaknesses as standard Nagakuga, which makes no sense. I completely understand why you would think that is the case, because it makes no sense to have literally almost an identical monster, save for the color, to then have the same elemental weaknesses. It is actually beyond belief. But that's Capcom. Like, that is the depth of their stupidity. That is the depth of their incomprehensible and inexplicable decision-making. They come out with a subspecies that's just a different color. That's it. I'm sure there, as I recall, there are slightly different attacks that green Nagakuga does, but for the most part, it's just a fucking color change. It's not hard for them to change the elemental weakness. Like, it's something. At least you're equipping a different weapon when you fight it. That's not hard. I mean, that's gameplay centric. That's any game developer who's thinking about what it's like to play the game would immediately think to do that. Oh, let's change the elemental weakness. If the fight doesn't substantially change, so at least at that point, the hunter will choose a different weapon. That at least will break up the monotony. That will make it feel a little bit like a different hunt. Because the hunter has to use something else. No, they don't even do that. I bet it didn't even cross their minds. Or maybe it did cross their minds and they said, no, my friends, we must not make sensible game design decisions. that is beneath us, and unrepresentative of our vision for Monster Hunter. No, we must do totally incomprehensible things when we make Monster Hunter. That is what our fans expect. And who are we to betray their expectations? That's what Capcom are like. I mean, seriously. To be honest, I used to not care. Capcom, I used to just enjoy their stupidity. It was innocent. It was a time when, for me, Capcom made games that I loved and made very, very strange decisions when they made those games. Decisions that you sit back and you go, this was not vetted. There was no quality control related to this decision. There was no oversight. I mean, that's how you logically suss it out in your head. You're just like, someone made a decision and no one looked at it. Because all it would take is one other person to look at that decision for, you know, an alternative voice to come through and say, hey, that makes no fucking sense. How about we do this instead? The fact that that never happened tells me that game design decisions are very compartmentalized. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they do actually have an agenda, as I was jokingly suggesting, where they have to make it so that it makes no sense. And to be honest, as I say, this used to be, in my mind, quite harmless. Oh, that's no problem. It's just Capcom. Haha, cute. Now I actually deride it, because I see that in 5th generation, and it's reached the point where I can't even play it anymore. You know, that decision making is now the result of me being unable, or rather me being unable to play new Monster Hunter games is a result of that decision making. So it's no longer, haha, cute, how silly are Capcom. It's, these people can go and swing from trees. Like, I'm sick of them. It's an insult to me, so, yeah. I actually do think that there is malice involved, to be honest. Particularly with Rise. I think what was done in Rise, the way they... I don't really want to get on this subject, and the reason why is because there's no way to summarize it in a pithy fashion. I would have to start getting into a rant, but I'll try to nutshell it by saying Rise, without needing to play much of it, but I did play more of it to form a more detailed opinion, but very early on it was clear that Rise was designed to appeal to the Japanese audience in the most shallow and insulting way possible. You know, the Japanese were not impressed with how westernized Monster Hunter World was. Some of them didn't give a shit. It was definitely split down the middle. There are the undiscerning Japanese players who were like, oh, new Monster Hunter, I'll play this. This is fun. Hunting. It's the same in the West, of course. But then there's also the other half who were like, what is this westernized shit? This isn't made for us. This is, you know, to cash in on the global gaming market. Monster Hunter used to be our franchise, and now it's gone westernized. What was Capcom's answer to that? Make a fucking Japanese-themed Monster Hunter. Which, on the surface, is Japanese, but then internally actually goes even further in the streamlined westernized direction, gameplay-wise, that World went in. So they've simultaneously said, oh, we see your concerns, but we've decided that they're entirely illegitimate, and we're going to, rather insultingly, just make the surface level of Rise Japanese. That will appease you, won't it? That's Capcom. That sort of behavior is fucking pathetic. And when I say that Capcom holds their player base in contempt, that's what I mean. That sort of behavior is why I very, very quickly gained a different perspective for Monster Hunter World, because it felt honest. Monster Hunter World felt honest. Rise felt like a cash-in, and it felt manipulative. And the way that they just went, they literally did an Olympic long jump over the line of acceptability for me, with how they just went for more streamlining in every regard. In every single regard, they streamlined and streamlined and streamlined, while saying, hey guys, look, the weapon designs look good again. Yeah. To be honest, I would rather Monster Hunter World with the shit weapon designs than Monster Hunter Rise with the good weapon designs. You know, if I'm weighing up what's most important, yeah, I think I know what I would go for. Anyway, that's probably my first Rise rant of the year, and that's going to be my last. I'll do one more hunt, and then we'll finish up. I actually don't know what Japan's reception was like for Monster Hunter Rise, because I totally disconnected. I gave up. What I can tell you is that the Japanese are very strange. I was told that the community of Monster Hunter 3G, which is the Japanese version of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, that community basically emptied out to go and play Rise. It kind of stayed that way. That's shocking to me. Like, a group of people, a subsection or a demographic of Monster Hunter players in Japan who were playing on the Wii U, playing 3G, go and play Rise. To me, those two things do not connect. There is a complete disconnect between those two things. Because I struggle to imagine that which captivated you in 3G could then be recreated meaningfully in Rise for you. It doesn't make sense. Because everything that makes 3 Ultimate and 3G special, as far as I'm concerned, is not present in Rise. So, what are these people latching onto? Is it just pure entertainment and that's it? They just sit back and go, oh, hunting. I can't... For me personally, everyone's different. For me personally, I cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom what people are attaching themselves to. I get the basic entertainment value of Monster Hunter Rise. I get that. But at some point you have to stop and think and consider why Monster Hunter was a special series in the first place. Like, what made it special? As far as I'm concerned, like, my evaluation of what that is, that X factor, that thing that makes Monster Hunter special, what set it apart from everything else, that wasn't just left behind in Monster Hunter Rise. That wasn't just done away with. They trampled on it. They fucking trampled on it. Egregiously, flagrantly, and with what I consider to be just an unreserved disdain for it and the people who enjoyed what made Monster Hunter special. That's what Monster Hunter Rise was for me. Now, I have gone to great lengths to avoid ranting about Rise for a very long time, and you can probably see why. It's because I feel very passionately about it. I feel very passionately in my personal disdain for Capcom for coming out with that game. And I will say this, and you can take it however you want, I actually feel personal disdain, dissatisfaction, and lack of respect for any person who plays that game and enjoys it. Well, I should rephrase that. It's the people who have played the older games who are informed enough to know that it sucks, but still don't seem to be able to make that connection. They just focus on that surface level entertainment value of flying around with a fucking wire bug. And they're so captivated by that they can't think more deeply about it. I feel disdain for those people, or towards those people, only because it's their support of that change in direction that therefore robs me of new games that I can enjoy. Sorry, I've been ranting a lot. I need to equip a water weapon. Sorry, I try not to get on these rants. I avoid it. But eventually you have to realize that it's not just people harmlessly enjoying a game. I actually find that it's harmful to the series for people to enjoy that game. It's actually harmful. So, no, I don't just let people do it. I don't just sit back and say, oh, enjoy what you enjoy. No problem, everyone's got a different opinion, it's all subjective. No, like I'm sorry, but I can't take that position with Monster Hunter Rise. I couldn't with World, but after having played Rise, I'll tell you what, World is pretty good compared to that fucking game. And World, I describe my experience with World as an abusive relationship. My desire to like that game resulted in me returning to it repeatedly, over and over again, wanting to see it in a different light, wanting to enjoy it for what it wanted to be, and then I would literally just say, come on, show me what makes you special, show me what's good about you, show me why you are the right direction for Monster Hunter to be going in, and the game would kick me in the fucking teeth. It would kick me in the teeth, and once I was down, it would stomp on me as well. That's what it felt like. And there were 3 occasions when I went back to that. It was like an abusive relationship. I knew what it was going to be, but I went back anyway. I convinced myself, you know what, it's not going to happen. And I know that sounds so dramatic and so over the top when you don't, I suppose, qualify it with detail. But to summarize the experience, that's what it was like for me. And the reason why I go into detail about that is to say, I actually think World's pretty good compared to Rise. So that should give you some perspective on how I feel about Rise. So, yeah. When people ask me, do you play Rise? There's no easy answer to that question. Well, there is. It's, no, I do not. But you see, that's not the whole story. When I say, no, I do not play Rise, that is not the whole story. And, it would take some time to tell the whole story. Yeah, sorry, well, actually, who am I apologizing to here? I'm apologizing to Nagaku-ka for not being able to include him in this hunt. The situation is that we already had a group of 4, and it seems that all of them were willing to wait for me, which is very good of them. I don't know how long I was ranting for, but it must have been some length of time. Because, look, I'm going to put it at about 15 minutes. So that's a while for them to be waiting patiently for me to actually get over here and start playing. So we are doing double the Vazioth. This will be the last hunt of the recording, and yeah. That will be the conclusion. Yeah, you can join after this hunt, exactly. Well, there's no reason why these guys have to stop hunting just because I've left the stage. They may continue. At which point, you may as well join them, Mr. Nagaku-ka. Yes, I know they're trolling. What does HC mean for Frontier? HC. I mean, I see HC and I think hardcore. Hardcore Lavazioth. Oh, it is hardcore. Okay. Is that your because I've heard of Zenith, obviously, but what's hardcore? What the fuck? Does he listen to hardcore music? That would make for some very interesting fan art, actually. Extra moves and hits harder. So not Zenith, basically. I find it hard to imagine that anyone could enjoy a Lavazioth that has extra moves to, like, the flopping attacks of this game. Because my general assumption, my instinct, tells me that extra moves for a Lavazioth probably involve more detailed and more complicated flopping maneuvers. And quite frankly, I get enough flopping in this game. And in, for example, Generations Ultimate. I don't really need even more of that. More flopping. Complex flopping maneuvers from Lava Fish. I wouldn't say Lavazioth sucks in Freedom Unite. I suppose by comparison to later games, maybe? Or in comparison to Frontier, perhaps, but... You know, compared to other monsters in this game, no, I don't think so. I think he's annoying to fight, but I don't think he's a bad monster. I think he's fairly modern and interesting and a good addition to the game. But he's fucking annoying to fight. His name is not... Oh, well, I guess you're... Do you mean Magmazioth because technically the lava has not left his body, so therefore it's magma? Is that what you're saying? His name is actually... what's his name again? I'm trying to remember it. It's Volganos. His name's actually Volganos, but... which I guess means he's volcanic, which is kind of cool and makes more sense. So yeah, his Japanese name of Volganos, for some reason, was just made Lavazioth instead. Flopping maneuver. I sort of forgot that I was using a gun lance and that I should be using Wyvern Fire. Doomlink used it to great effect. What is not currently being used to great effect, however, is my lance, because I'm bouncing apparently. Or I was off the back fins. I'm glad that I'm not bouncing off anything else. I suspected that my sharpness had dropped considerably, but I'm still at white. So I don't know what I was bouncing off with white sharpness there, but probably not something that I want to be aiming for. It's probably not very damaging. Alright, there you go. I have pinged as well. I've let them know whatever it was I was communicating. No, I haven't tried extreme style. I haven't done anything in Frontier relating to styles. Because, to start with, I only got through, I guess, the high rank? Or am I in G rank? I think I'm still in high rank in Frontier. All I can tell you is that I would still consider it to be early game. In the grand scheme of things, but yeah, I'm not interested in trying those styles. But I think by the time you get into endgame, or even late game, we can say Frontier, I think it's expected that you use extreme style. I feel like the actual game is based around it, so I don't think you've got much of a choice. There's an easy solution to that, Nagakuga. I'm not going to call you Nagakuga. That makes me sick. Like, why would I call you that? But I don't know what to call you. I know what to do. So, just a fun little bit of trivia. In the... when would this have been? I'd say this would have been in late 2018, early 2019 in Hunsterverse. There was a poll that was done for every single monster, and you would be able to vote on a nickname that was actually sanctioned, that you could type in to the weakness command, for example. So, like, you could say that the official nickname for Lavasioth is lava. You'd be able to type !C weakness lava, and that would work, because that would be written down as the official shortening or nickname of Lavasioth. Well, you see, a poll was done for all of those, and because it's Huntsdiverse and it is that community, the submissions were very funny. I seem to remember that Velocidrome's nickname was voted to be Dickhead, and Cephadrome's nickname was voted to be Asshole. So, like, imagine you're typing in the weakness and you're like, hold on, instead of typing Cephadrome, I'm going to type in Asshole. So that was the situation. Now, if I were to do a poll to give you a name, those are the sort of names that we'd be getting. That's what I'm getting at. Alright. I think that will conclude this recording. I do thank you all for joining. And I will endeavour to record more frequently than I have been. I do accept that I've been effectively gone for a while. Just little grains of salt, almost, for my recordings, but anyway. Really? You raid me at the end of my stream. Why do you do this? I actually thought that your name was Escadora at first. That actually could have been an interesting talking point. Raiding with a party of 12. Why do people do this? Anyway. What game were you guys playing? Or rather the streamer, I suppose. What was the game in question? Another 3 hours? No. I've never had a raid where the raiders actually stuck around. I could be doing a handstand while jerking off and raiders wouldn't stick around, I can assure you. Zero can't run on Freedom Unite? Jesus. That's quite hardcore. Good on you. I'm not at that point. Well, I don't think I would ever get to that point where I would need to do things like that to enjoy playing Freedom Unite, but I do respect the commitment to doing that. It's not easy. It's not quite at the level of a no-hit run in a Souls game, but it's still... It's easy to die from stupid things. It's really easy to die from stupid things. So to do... I don't know what constitutes a run for you, whether it's completing every quest or just doing all of the key quests or what, but... And if that also entails the completion of the village, but... That's a task. That's difficult. So... No, I'm not raiding anyone. But thanks for the recommendation. But yeah, thanks for the raid. It did come at the end of my live stream. I don't at this stage plan to create another room and try to continue it. Catch you later, everyone. I will try to stream soon. It won't be tomorrow or the day after, but it will probably be Sunday. I will try to have it be Sunday, which is probably Saturday evening for the Americans. And then for the rest of you, it'll be Sunday. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.